Hey folks, what's up? Lex here, and you know, as a kid, one of the best memories I had was opening up new wrestling figures on Christmas Day and introducing those new figures into my Fig Fed and, you know, putting on a show that night, a big Christmas Fig Fed show. And so, because Santa has been very generous to me this year, I thought instead of just opening up these figures by myself, I'd open them all with you guys here and do a massive figure unboxing and review video. Now I will warn you, this is going to be a long video. It's going to be something to kind of put on in the background or maybe just kind of hang out with. Our first one was like an hour long. This one's probably going to be even way more than that. We've got a lot to unbox here, and I'm glad that I'm able to do it with you guys. Now I will put timestamps in the video for you guys if you want to skip ahead to any certain part. Of course, that means there's probably going to be spoilers as to what I open up here. Part of the fun is not knowing exactly what we're going to get into. But I do have some main events that I know are bigger deals in terms of you know, what kind of figure they are, and I also have some stuff that I know about that I'm not going to open up, but I am just going to show you guys in the packaging. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the unboxings. Alright, so here we are, and before we got to unboxing anything, I actually wanted to show off some things that I won't be unboxing, at least not right now. If you subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos, you may have seen that I did an unboxing for the Triple H and the Sting of the Masters of the WWE Universe. And I really like those figures. They're really cool out of the packaging and everything, but I just kind of decided that they'd be worth more to me to remain in the packaging, not financial wise, but just in terms of how I display things. There's much more room on the walls to display these in their packaging than there is loose for me to display. I don't have any detofs or anything like that, so I'm going to keep these guys in the packaging because of the aforementioned, you know, space issue, but also because these packaging designs are just so cool. I love the logo of the Master of the WWE Universe. I love how these figures look in the packaging. These figures look phenomenal, by the way, just on their own. You know, taken out of the box. The only thing is that if you want to display them as their wrestler, you want them to look like a AWA Remco, then you kind of have to unbox them and take off all their stuff. But for now, I'm going to keep them in the packaging. So I've got these three here. The Rey Mysterio is one of my favorite designs. I love the designs on this packaging. And let's take a closer look here. I love the color scheme on the tights. I love the tight designs. It's just obviously a very toyetic figure here. A toyetic person is Rey Mysterio. But this just looks kind of like, you know, those early Rey Mysterio Kellyan figures, except for, obviously, this is much cooler looking than that. I know these come with comics and stuff like that, so, you know, I'm missing out on that, but they're not deep comics or anything like that. But this Mysterio, love the little art on the back here. It's very cool. And we also have the Ultimate Warrior. These are some of the figures that I picked up a while ago. But just, again, didn't want to take them out of the packaging. This one still has the thing here, barely hanging on, but this figure is really cool too, kind of depicting his WrestleMania 6 gear, which is awesome. It's my favorite Warrior attire. And here we have the Macho Man. This is probably one of the cooler Masters of the WWE Universe figures. I love the attire they put him in. And you got kind of this variation on that classic Macho Man shirt. I think the purple's a little too dark, but oh well. He's even got the bandana on, and you can see what he can do on the back here. These are just such cool figures. I wouldn't mind buying a second set and unboxing them, having a set out of the box. Okay, and these are the last three of the Masters of the WWE Universe that we're going to check out in this video. I recently found these at Walmart. I went around and did a big fig hunt that lasted 2 days, and it was a lot of fun to do, and I was lucky enough to find these guys in one of my local Walmarts. Unfortunately, I was only able to find one a piece of them, so I couldn't buy a second set to open. So I'm going to keep these in the packaging too, but I really love the Jake the Snake here. They're just phenomenal look, and of course he's in a different company now, so they were able to get this out regardless. But he actually has, and this is one of those figures that maybe I thought about maybe opening, because he has this cool thing where you can take his face off, and it's actually like a snake face underneath it. That's awesome. Again, for those of you who just want the wrestler and not the He-Man version of this wrestler, unfortunately he's got wristbands or wrist guards on, whatever they're called. So you can't, I don't think you can take those off. So he's always going to have those on. But the likeness is awesome. The hair mold is incredible. Just a fantastic mullet there. And then the detailing on the tights and all that kind of stuff is just really cool. Really cool figure. And then we have the... Oh, let's go with this one real quick. I'm not a modern wrestling fan, so I don't watch WWE, I don't watch AEW, I don't watch Impact, I don't watch any of that. I know about things, though. So I knew about this Bray Wyatt figure. I'm not huge on the character of The Fiend, but he is toyetic. I promise not to use that word too much, but he's very appealing in figure form. I mean, that's just a cool looking figure, especially in this type of design. And, you know, you could take the jacket off or the little vest. And what does he do? You make his mouth move. Oh, that's why some of these figures, when I saw them on the shelf, some of them were, the mouth was agape, and I was like, is that like a different mold? But nope. On the back here it says you can move his mouth, replace his hands with weapons, and twist into powerful battle positions. So I love that these figures are multi-purpose. You can really use them just as the wrestlers, but you can also turn it into some sort of He-Man thing, and can work for that as well. Very good for younger kids, I think. And then finally here we have Mr. T. It says right here, heroic pitier of fools. I love that tagline. And of course, Mattel also came out with a Mr. T Elite figure this past year, and I wasn't really big on that. And they're coming out with Mr. T and Roddy Piper boxing match WrestleMania 2 set, or at least it's out now. And I wasn't really big on that either. This is probably the only Mr. T figure I was interested in buying, because it's an 80s style of figure, so it makes a little more sense. If I had a figure fed with these types of figures, this figure right here would definitely get some sort of push for the world title. But I love this figure. I don't love the chest plate here, but I pretty much love everything else. He's another guy who's got the wrist guards or wristbands on that you can't take off, I'm assuming. Alright, here we go, our first gift here. And obviously this is a little bit bigger than one figure, so I'm guessing we're going to get multiple figures in here, but let's rip into this one. Oh. Look at what we have here. We've got 2 Mabels, and we're going to look at why that is exactly. And we've got Mr. Bob Backlund himself. So let's start out with Bob here. Set these Mabels to the side. Alright, I've got my little X-Acto knife there. And we're going to open Mr. Bob Backlund. Alright, take a look at Bob here from the front. This is a collector's edition Bob Backlund. I believe this was a Walmart exclusive. He's a little torn on the side, or a little creased on the sides there, but that's all right. All right, so first thing we're going to look at is he comes with a world title. Let's see if we can get that to focus there. There you can see it. Light is very bright, so I apologize for that. But yeah, very cool mid-90s World Championship. Alright, so if you don't know, and I don't know why you would know, I'm a huge fan of mid-90s WWF. Huge fan. That's probably my favorite era in wrestling. I just love... I don't know what it is. It's just kind of like... There's a lot of gimmicks and stuff like that. You know, Doink the Clown, Duke the Dumpster, Drosy. But everybody was serious about it. It's like, it wasn't like, haha, wink wink, looking at the camera. It was like... Yeah, these were goofy gimmicks, but they were trying their best to, portray them as something that belonged in the WWF at the time. But Bob Backlund was super serious when he came back to the WWF, I think late 92. And, he didn't really connect with the audience again. And they kind of just let him be crazy, Bob Backlund. And he ended up beating Bret the Hitman Hart for the WWF World title and ended up losing it fairly quickly to Diesel in a very fast match. And take this robe off here. So this is the Soft Goods blue robe, and he has the towel that you fold into it, and looks exactly like what he wore, from my memory at least. I love when Mattel does soft goods. I hate when they do the rubber. It just doesn't do it for me. But this soft goods robe is excellent. Taking a look at the figure himself, let's go ahead and bring it on up here and see if we can get it to focus there. You can see he's got the blue attire with the blue knee pads, the black boots, and white trim. And I would say that this head sculpt or scan is okay. It's not the greatest, not the worst. I think it does the trick. You got the WWF title here for him to hold. I don't have a Diesel yet. I've always wanted a Diesel, for my collection to put in there. And hopefully one of these days I'll get the mullet Diesel that was out. I don't remember what series that was. I think it was Hall of Fame Target exclusive Diesel. They might have released it a couple times, but I want that Diesel to go with my mid-90s collection. But this is essential, I think, for my mid-90s collection. He was the WWF champ, even if it was for a short time. He was heavily featured with a feud with Bret Hart. So yeah, I think this is a good figure, and I'm proud to have it in my collection. So we'll see if we can get Bob to behave. All right, we'll have Bob stand in the entranceway there. This is my entranceway that I made for my upcoming Fig Fed, by the way. Oh, and also he comes with two swappable hands that have the holes, so you can, I guess, put a chair in there or whatever you want to do. The swappable hands thing is something I'm fairly new to. I don't usually care to have them, but so now we have two King Mabels here, and let's try to explain the difference here. They actually look very similar at a glance, but one has an M here on the chest and a different design, while this one kind of has lightning designs here. Otherwise, it's the same figure, pretty much. I love King Mabel, one of my favorites of that mid-90s generation. I know he hurt guys. I know that he wasn't the best wrestler. I know, pretty much this was the down period of all of wrestling. But I still have this soft spot for King Mabel and that whole era. So let's go ahead and open these guys up and compare them out of the box. Slice this open here. Hopefully I won't struggle too much with the boxes here in this video. I always tend to struggle because I don't want to rip it open, and these tabs can get caught and be stubborn. So okay, there we go. Here comes King Mabel, the winner of the 1995 King of the Ring. There he is. He's also got interchangeable hands, but we won't worry about those for now. And there's King Mabel with the M on his chest. He's got little tassels here that are made out of rubber, soft rubber. He's got nice tattoo design here, and nothing over there. I love the knee pads with the M on them, and the boot design with the skull and crossbones. Just a very substantial figure here. Nice mold that kind of recreates the baggy attire that he used to wear. He's got this spectacular mohawk here, just phenomenal with the detail on the hair and everything. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite figures of all time, if not my favorite figure of all time. Go ahead and put his crown back on, and here's how he compares to Bob Backlund. You know, he's a little bit taller than Bob, obviously much bigger than Bob here. Very cool. Must have for my mid-90s collection. Mabel was set to be a pretty big deal. He started with the Men on a Mission tag team and then broke off onto his own and seemingly got a big push, but I think the crowd just kind of rejected him. He turned heel. I think he was really good when he was a heel. Ended up breaking the Undertaker's face with an elbow drop, which probably got him in hot water, but still, he's one of my favorites. Alright, now it's time to take a look at this other King Mabel here. I'm just going to cut this over here. Try to get this out as best I can. Some are much easier than others when it comes to pulling those tabs out. Alright. Try to do that away from the mic so it doesn't get too loud. Oh, we got a little bit of bobbly head here. That's not good. Wow, I don't see that too often from Mattel figures. Kind of bobblehead action. That's not good. I might need to get a new Mabel here. But yeah, as you can see, pretty much the same figure, except for he's got different designs on the apparel. This is more King Mabel here. You see the crown on the attire, an M there. He has the M on the knee pads, but no skull and crossbones there. He's got the M on the back where he doesn't have it here. You can see the comparison side to side. You know, so they design-wise they are different figures. Mold-wise, they're the exact same figure though. Same head scan, same attire, same crown. You know, same tattoos. There is a difference though. This one has a shirt painted on. You can see, try to get the tassels out of the way. You can see the shirt is painted on there, whereas here the shirt is not painted on. You can see the full tattoo. So that's another difference. It's just mostly paint design differences here. Same height. Obviously one of mine has a bobbly head, which is not cool. One doesn't, but I love these figures regardless of all that. Yeah, I would probably go as far as to say these are my favorite Mattel figures they've made so far. They're substantial. Again, I love King Mabel. You can see the different colors on the tassel designs there. So if you were running a figure fed and you wanted to book King Mabel, it'd be cool to have both of these guys so that you can do like, oh, he's wearing this attire one week and the other week he's wearing this attire, or this is his pay-per-view attire, or whatever. Very cool to have both. Or you can make them a tag team, just pretend they're twin brothers. And do Men on a Mission 2.0 or something. But there you go, Bob Backlund. These guys don't want to stand up. Gotta spread their legs a little bit further here. You have Bob Backlund and the King Mabels. Alright, so here we go with our next present here. Got another brick of figures, it looks like. Let's see who we get. Alright. We got some sticky tape action here. These figures here. We've got Nia Jax from Series 65, Samoa Joe from Series 64, and 6 from the Elite Flashback. I don't know which series that is, but I'm very happy to see that one for sure. That kind of goes with my mid-90s love collection thing here. But let's go ahead and open up some modern figures too. Alright, let's go ahead and start with this Nia Jax. Cut that tape off. Ugh. Cut that tape off. Alright. Now I know Nia Jax is a bit controversial in terms of who likes her, who doesn't, but to me she's always been a pretty impressive big ladies wrestler in a world where we don't see many big ladies wrestlers. We see pretty thin athletic girls wrestling, and she's a monster. She had a match with Asuka at one of the NXT takeover events, and I don't remember which one, but I loved that match. They did a fantastic job telling a good story there. But here we have Nia Jax. The cool thing about this figure, before I take it out of the plastic, you can see it has 2 other interchangeable heads, and they're like drastically different. They're all unique head scans. This one's different from this one. It's got a little bit more of a narrowed scowl on it, and of course the different hair that comes down here, and this one's a smiling head scan with the long braided hair. So let's get this out of here and see if we can swap some heads. Oh, these are tough to get out. There we go. This is just, look at this. This is just creepy. Trying to get this head out of there. It's like something you would see in Aliens or something. It's like slinking around. Wow, that's creepy. So it looks like she has some of these plastic ties. So we'll go ahead and cut that. Get rid of those ties. And here we have Nia Jax. So the figure itself, without swapping the heads, comes with kind of this feathered hair look right here. I think this is an incredible figure. The detail on this is phenomenal. Just every little thing they carved out here. She got whatever these are, the side plates. And then just look at the intricate paint job on the arms there. That's just great. This is an awesome figure. Look at this on the legs too. Intricate paint job there. The unique mold, I'm guessing. I don't think this has ever been on any other figure. And then you got the head, which this is one of the best likenesses I've ever seen on a figure. She's got the shoulder pads too. This is awesome. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to swap the heads now. Alright, that was easy. This is the first time I've ever done a Mattel head swap where it comes with multiple heads. So we're just going to pop on this ponytail one. Something I do want to note here, and you can see kind of like a black mark there where the joints, you can see one there. Not a big deal. But when you put on this head, if I can get it on, might have to do this out of frame. Wow, this does not want to go on. Doesn't want to go on. So she's got this weird long neck. But what I do want to say that, like, if you put this head on, you're going to get exposed joints here. See if I can get it to focus. Come on. There we go. So you can see kind of exposed joint there where it's black. And then we've got this head, which I guess we got to put it on like this with the braids in front. There we go. We got this one on. You can see, oh, that's even cooler, because the pink of the braids goes well with the purple and the purple and green on the outfit. This is a really cool, underrated figure. Wow, and look at on the back too, the zipper detail. I don't know if you can see that. Just a zipper detail on that. That's awesome. So if you see this figure, because I've seen this figure on clearance, if you see this figure on clearance, snag it, because this is an awesome figure. Even if you don't like Nia Jax or whatever, especially if you got like a figure fed going, this would be an awesome monster heel to put in your fig fed. Highly recommended. Alright, we'll go ahead and put her there and put her heads over here. Alright, so next up we've got this Series 64 Samoa Joe. Alright, there's Joe there, giving the love signs. Not the love signs, the Superfly signs, whatever they are. I don't know. They're the hang loose. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Hang loose signs. He also comes with the interchangeable hands here. They're basically fists. One is taped up. So the towel is not soft goods, which surprises me. It's actually like a hard rubber. I would say soft rubber, not hard rubber. Soft rubber. And then he's got his Joe shirt. You can take that off because it's Velcro in the back. This is soft goods. Grab that. That's a lot easier to take off with those hands on than I thought. And underneath you've got Samoa Joe. Now this is cool to have in my collection because I'm kind of doing an ROH collection. I used to be really big into Ring of Honor. Back in the, I guess about a decade ago. And so anything Ring of Honor, I was just all over. And one of the things I wanted to do with the Mattel figures, since I don't really watch modern wrestling, don't really care about many of the modern wrestlers, I did want to get one of each guy that was in Ring of Honor, at least the ones I cared about anyway. And Samoa Joe is definitely one of the ones I've cared about. He had some phenomenal matches, arguably the best matches in Ring of Honor history. Him, CM Punk, and Roddy Strong. The list goes on and on and on. I'd be here all day if I did list every one of them. But Samoa Joe is not only someone I admired in Ring of Honor, but he's someone I admired in TNA too. So this was kind of like, even though I don't really care for him now in terms of I don't watch wrestling now, it was this is more representative of him in TNA or him in Ring of Honor. Even though he didn't wear these too much in TNA and Ring of Honor, you would see him in the tights instead, the short tights. But still, cool to have. Alright, so we got our Samoans over there, and we have one last figure to look at. It is Six, or Six-Pac, or whatever else you want to call him. Let's see, open them up this way. There we go. Okay, gently take this out. There we go. So this guy comes with some extras here, because this was supposed to be the Build-A-Stage or Build-A-Interview set for SummerSlam 1989. So, what you get is this WWE backdrop here. You get the little, I don't even know what these are. I guess they're kind of stands to hold this up here. They slide into here. And then with somebody else, I think, I don't remember who it is, maybe Yokozuna, you get the SummerSlam nameplate, you pop onto there. So very cool idea. I like that idea a lot. But you have to buy all those figures. And let me look on the back here. So you have to buy 6, Mean Gene, Ultimate Warrior, and Yokozuna to get all the pieces. I have the Mean Gene, but I don't have the Yokozuna or the Ultimate Warrior, so I don't have all the pieces needed. But that's okay, because I'm not buying these for the pieces. I'm just buying them because I want to add the individuals to my collection. So we got some sunglasses here. We've got NWO shirt here. Oh, this is cool. I didn't know about this. It's got the actual 6-ball here on the back of the shirt. Let's pop it out. Wow. Okay. There's the figure, and there's a little paint spray can. So, yeah. A little paint spray can. Try to focus that in here. You can see. Spray painting NWO on people. Here's the figure itself. Now, I believe this is the same exact mold as the 1-2-3 Kid figure, which I have and love. It is one of my favorite figures in my collection. I don't like 6 as much as I like 1-2-3 Kid. I don't like X-Pac as much as I like 1-2-3 Kid. But this is a really cool figure. This is another figure that for a while I saw on clearance. Nobody was buying it. I don't think it costs very much on eBay. It says Thug there on the front, although the G looks like a Y. And then you have 6-Pac on the side. And you got the detailing there on the kick pads. On the back it says Notorious. Kind of hard to see, I know. Notorious there on the back of the tights. Another 6-Pac on this side. And then you've got the head scan that you would normally see on an X-Pac figure. It's got the tongue sticking out and the bandana up here. Very cool figure. I dig it. You can even put this half shirt on. Maybe. I guess the bad thing about the half shirt is that it is going to kind of flop over the hair, so it kind of looks like he has no neck now. I need to get something to focus these guys a little bit better. We'll try this card here. But yeah, you can see kind of neck disappears. But you can still get it underneath the hair and have it look better. But very, very cool figure. I dig it a lot. Just another one of those figures I had to add to my mid-90s collection. It's not like Six-Pac was a groundbreaking figure or character or wrestler or anything like that. He was more of a big deal with the WWF when he was the 1-2-3 Kid, and that's definitely how I like him better. See, here's something I don't understand. Do the glasses go back here? I don't think they do. So you have to wear the glasses like over the hair? Maybe I'm mistaken and I'm just not doing it right or whatever, but they don't have the holes like some other figures do. But that's still pretty cool. One thing I've always hated about X-Pac figures, and some people will debate me on this because they say that's what he did, that's how he looked, that's what he should be doing, is the tongue sticking out. And the reason I never liked that is because when I was playing with them when I was a kid, it'd be weird to have a guy with his tongue always sticking out during the middle of a match or whatever. So I always found that very weird. Because I had the Bone Cruncher from, I think it was the WrestleMania 15 packaging with the red and black designs, and his tongue was always sticking out. It's just like, oh, that's weird. His glasses were always on his face. It's just weird. But there you go. You have Six-Pac, Samoa Joe, and Nia Jax. And we can move along to our next set if I don't bump the camera too much here. Alright, we're grabbing another gift off the pile here. And ready to open it and see what we get. I see purple. Alright. Take that tape off there. What do we have here? We have two decade figures, if you will. We have a Decade of Domination Randy Orton and a, I guess, 3 Decades of Domination Undertaker. This is the Walmart exclusive, I believe. We will get to that in just a second. Alright, we're going to open Randy Orton up first and take a look. Get it on the side here. And on this side here. It really does seem to me like Mattel is starting to get into that weird Jax phase. And I mean weird in a good way, where they're making guys and versions of guys and girls who, you know, it's kind of obscure. If we can get this out here. Realize I didn't cut this one down here. I don't think. Maybe I did. I don't know. But my point is, we're starting to get some of the people or the gimmicks where we don't really need them. Like, when you start a wrestling figure line, there's certainly guys that you need and certainly guys that you don't need. This version, this era Randy Orton would probably be someone you wouldn't need. But this is still extremely cool. And it makes sense because they're taking a guy who they've made dozens and dozens of times, and they've got head scans of him. They're making new head scans, obviously. They've got head scans of him. They got body molds of him. They've got the tattoos down and all that kind of stuff. And now they're just making earlier versions. There's also an earlier Cena in this line. So that's very cool. All right, take the sling out here. Pop his more modern head scan out there. Wow, for some reason this is really tough to get out. He's holding on for everything. I know that sound isn't pleasant sometimes. I apologize for that, but oh, I like the joints on this figure. They're pretty good. They're not too tight. A little bit of tightness there, some tightness there, but better than most Mattel figures that I unbox. So he's got his shoulder sling here, and let's see if I can figure out how to correctly put this on. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to execute this here. Can you even do it? I guess I'd have to look at pictures on the internet. I'm pretty sure it was his right hand that was the problem. Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing it's supposed to be like that, but with the arm through. So maybe if I put it just like this. Is there like a release point for this? Like something you can attach? I don't see it. Yeah, I don't want to break it to try to get it to fit on, but I guess this will have to do. You know, it's kind of... I'm sure there's a way... I'm sure you could like pop the head off. Well, yeah, let's pop the head off. Alright, so the head is off, and no, that's... Alright, let's... This is ridiculous. Yeah, it's just, I don't understand how that would work. Unless it's supposed to go on the other side. Get that through there. And try to loop it. Oh, no, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is supposed to go on or not. I'm guessing it is, but I can't get it to go on. But while we have this head scan off, let's take a look at it here. Let me get my let me get something to kind of focus the head here. You can kind of see the I love this head scan. Kind of the, you know, mop top haircut, very of that era. So very, very cool. I like this a lot. This will be the one I'll display it with, even though this head scan is the more well-known one, I would say. If we can get it to focus, there we go. Yeah, see, you know, that's when he was with Evolution. This is what he looked like. I don't know how long, if at all, he had this haircut with this attire. I'm sure he did, but I'm sure it wasn't for very long. Kind of work that onto his head there, or his neck. And we get more of a Evolution Orton here, which is the better look for him. You've got the tattoos and the detail on the back. It says Orton, and the yellow piping on the side. We've got the little Orton name right here in yellow on the front of the bikers, and then you've got the blue knee pads, black boots. Pretty basic, but I think the hero of this whole figure is this head scan right here. It's just really cool to have young Randy Orton in there. I mean, if you had a figure fed, it could be the younger brother of Randy Orton or whatever. I don't know his sibling situation in real life, but you know, you could just make that a fantasy thing. But still, very cool. He also comes with 2 other hands that are interchangeable. But again, I'm not going to deal with those. So I like this figure a lot. I wish the sling came apart at some point here. It seems like it should, but it's all just one piece connected, and I have no idea how to get it on there. So that's that. Let's move on to the Undertaker. Alright, so now we have this Elite Undertaker, 30 years from 1990 to 2020. He debuted as the Hollowed-Eyed Dead Man. He evolved into the leader of the Ministry, the Lord of Darkness. He transformed into the motorcycle-riding Force of Destruction, Big Evil. He lived on as the iconic Phenom. He immortalized himself as the last outlaw. For over 30 years, if you stepped to him, he'd make you famous. He's the man whose legacy will never rest in peace, The Undertaker. Now, The Undertaker has had a lot of different looks over the years. You know, I've gone back and forth as to which I prefer. There was a time where I really did not like the 2001 Undertaker, 2001, 2002. I preferred the dead man gimmick and all that kind of stuff, but you know, over the years, I've come to appreciate the whole Big Evil time where he was not really a gimmick and just kind of himself. And I think, you know, at the time I thought that was pretty boring, but like now that I look at it, it feels a lot more authentic. And you know, maybe it's just that he's done the Undertaker thing for so long now that, you know, it's something fresh. Oh, we got another piece of tape up top here. There we go. Alright, so as an Undertaker would be, it's a big figure. That's one thing, when you buy Undertaker figures, you're getting a lot of plastic. It's huge. So, again, I don't watch modern wrestling, but I'm guessing this is supposed to be Undertaker from, you know, something relatively modern. He's got this kind of shaved side haircut. Could possibly even be the last WrestleMania he did, but I don't know for sure. He comes with this hat, which I like this hat a lot because it's not a cowboy hat, it's a rounded hat that he comes with. It just looks kind of ominous, you know. But this is definitely an older Undertaker. I'm going to attempt to take this jacket off, but this jacket is soft rubber, and the arms might be an issue, so I may be cutting here to a later time. Alright, so I'm not going to try to take the jacket off all the way. It's too much of a hassle. But I've kind of peeled it back here so you can see some of his detailing in the tattoos. He's also got an arm pad right here, or an elbow pad rather, which is probably making it more difficult to take off the jacket. And you can see he's just kind of got the tank top on. And if you look on this side here, you can see he's got the gloves on under these sleeves. So kind of the gloved hands. And he comes with two other gloved hands that are more closed fists. So yeah, the detailing on the coat is very nice. You can see all the shadows and just all the lines that are going into this mold here. You know, I don't have a problem with it being soft rubber instead of soft goods, you know, the cloth. But I think at the same time, it just kind of, it feels a little cheap. It doesn't, like, the material doesn't feel cheap. It just, like, the execution feels cheap. Because if you try to raise his arms, you can't do it. It's just like the USA Sting that they released, the Defining Moments in. And I think they released a Zack Ryder like that as well, and a couple other Stings. You're pretty much stuck in this pose. You can't raise the arms, you have to take the jacket off if you want to pose them any other way. But with the hat and everything, you know, it's kind of a nice display piece. He's actually taller than my entranceway here by just a little bit. Still an ominous Undertaker. If you're into modern Undertaker, then pick this one up. I don't think this figure's for me necessarily. I don't know if I'll keep this in my collection. He's still cool, but I don't think it's for me. So one other thing I want to talk about is the eyes, and you can't. There we go. They look fine, but not fine at the same time. Very creepy. I know it's the Undertaker, but just the way they're painted on, it feels like it's surreal. I don't know how to explain it, but you can see it right there. It's just, it's weird. It's creepy. I think it's this true effects thing that they're doing with these figures, but yeah. So we have a bag now. The bag's so big it won't even fit into the entire frame. Let's go ahead and unbox this here. What do we have here? We have Honky Tonk Man Retro Fest. We have a Macho Man Retro Fest. And a Shawn Michaels Retro Fest. So I will not be opening these guys up. These just another one of those Masters of the WWE Universe things. I love the packaging so much on these guys that I am going to keep them right where they are. And I will also say this, I'm not a big fan of the figures themselves, except for Honky Tonk Man. I'll talk about him separately. These two right here, like, the Shawn Michaels is okay. I know a lot of people had a problem with the Shawn Michaels. To me, that's okay. It's going based off of this picture of him. And then on the back here, it's got the video game-like description, which I love. These are GameStop exclusives, I believe. And I'm a huge video game guy, huge wrestling guy. So this works for me. I like this. Just like, I don't... It's okay. I'm not... It's not too bad. The Macho Man is more of a I don't like this attire kind of problem. It's just, I hate that shirt. I hate it. I hate that shirt. I just hate the big star on it. I like the hat. The hat is really cool. Not a big fan of the tights either, but that's what he wore. And you can see on the side here, big giant star on the shirt and everything. I'm not saying it's inaccurate. I'm just saying not what I liked. But it doesn't have the stars right here, as you can see, unless this was part of the tights. That might be part of the tights, actually. And he might have that if I took off the shirt. So I won't judge that, because again, I'm not going to open it, but you can see on the back, he's got his little video game biography there. Very cool. And then we'll talk about Honky Tonk Man, because this is a figure I actually do like from the looks of it. My only problem with this figure, just from looking at it, the Elvis guy there on the jumpsuit, or the Honky Tonk Man there on the jumpsuit, is the skin is too dark. If you see on the side here, like the light is like blowing out the skin tone that's so light, but on the figure it's dark, which makes it kind of look, I don't know if you've ever seen Saving Silverman, but they replaced their friend in their Neil Diamond tribute band with a guy, and yeah, that just kind of reminds me of this whole situation. I do really like the figure itself. I like the head scan, comes with a guitar. Obviously I'm not opening it, so I can't see what's under the jumpsuit and everything, but very cool. My only Honky Tonk Man figure, and the only one I probably ever need, too. It's perfect from what I can see, and we'll keep them in the packaging. Again, just love the arcade packaging here, the Retrofest, kind of play off the WrestleFest arcade game there, and yeah, you see some dust on the top. These sat on GameStop shelves for quite some time, and I got them all on clearance for like $5, so can't beat that, and we'll move on. All right, let's move right along with our unwrapping. Got another package here. Oh, I see some modern guys. What do we have here? Whoa. Just like modern guys are already diving. Alright, take that off. Alright, as you can see here, we have 3 members of the Undisputed Era from NXT. We have Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. So, I'm extremely excited to get these guys, and I will tell you why here in just a moment. But let's start with Bobby Fish here. See, has the NXT Tag Team Championship. He has 4 sets, well, 2 sets of interchangeable hands. And he has the Undisputed Era t-shirt. Well, I can't say it's a t-shirt because it's actually not, but the shirt. Cut that open. It's being a bit stubborn. Alright. Also in this series, with this Bobby Fish, which is Series 79, by the way, you can get Io Shirai, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Big E Langston. I know he's not Big E Langston anymore, but that's how I remember him. And along with Bobby Fish, Xavier Woods. If I can get this open. Man, I struggle with this so much. I hate this. Oh no, he ripped it! Ugh. I don't think the tape is fully cut here. Oh, man. There we go. That sucks. I'll have to replace this. Luckily, I know for a fact that a Walmart somewhat near me has a ton of Bobby Fishes. Would that be Bobby Fishes, plural? Because fish is fish, plural. Has a ton of Bobby Fish for like 16 bucks. So I can replace it, but still, that makes me angry. Alright. Moving on, we have the shirt here, which is one of those rubber shirts. It says Shock the System on the back, if it'll focus. No? Doesn't want to focus. There we go. Shock the System on the back. Which you don't see very often. He actually comes in the packaging with the title around his waist. Very interesting. And we're not going to deal with the hands, but you got the Undisputed Era hand gesture, whatever that is. Let's go ahead and take the title off of him, title belt off of him right now. And take a closer look at that. Oh, that's nice. Very shiny. But I didn't get him because of NXT. Like I said earlier, I'm a big Ring of Honor fan. And, you know, Bobby Fish was coming in kind of at the tail end of when I was really liking Ring of Honor. And he teamed with Kyle O'Reilly to kind of face off against Davey Richards. And they called themselves Red Dragon, with the D and the R in the middle standing for Davey Richards. So Kyle O'Reilly was a protege of Davey Richards, and Davey Richards was my favorite wrestler. So it's kind of all looped in, but we've got a very nice tattoo on the back of a fish. And he's got the bikers on with the fish on the front. It's kind of hard to tell there. Get this focused. There we go. Yeah, he's got that fish on the front and the camo attire with the knee pads. He's even got a taped knee underneath the knee pad. He's got RIP and a tombstone on this kick pad here. And then he's got an X right there. On the back, you can see some detailing. He's got some laces painted on. And the knee pads are actually 2 different colors on each strand. So yellow here, red, black there, goodness. And then it says Infamous on the back of the trunks with the Undisputed Era logo. Now let's talk real quick about the paint on this head, shall we? Very much like the Undertaker, the eyes look creepy, especially this one. It looks like he's got a dead eye or something. It's hard to kind of tell on the camera. But in person, it's like where the pupil is supposed to be black, it's white. So there's like a paint error there, and it's just very creepy. But really what it is his eye is jetting that way. So another reason to replace this figure, I guess. But anyway, I do like the figure overall. I think it's cool. I put the shirt on him real quick. And this opens up in the back so you can put it on. Fairly easy. Get that underneath his beard there. Clip that on. So there he is with his Undisputed Era shirt. Very nice. Let's go ahead and I'm going to turn the ISO down a little bit. There we go. Turn the ISO down a little bit because it's a little blown out. But hopefully that fixes it. You can get a better look at Bobby Fish. I'll go ahead and hold his tag team title over here. Maybe. Okay. Alright, next up we've got his tag team partner and one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Kyle O'Reilly. So let's open this guy up. He's got pretty much the same things that Bobby Fish has. Now, if I rip this guy, if I rip his box, I'm going to be even more distraught because this is a guy I can't find locally. And while you can still get him on Ringside Collectibles, I mean, easily, no challenge to do so, but it would still make me upset because this is the one I want the most out of all these guys. So, again, I'm going to try to be careful getting these out. I'm sure there's a much better way to open these than what I'm doing, but I know of no better way. So, also in this series with Kyle O'Reilly, you can get Ricochet, Kevin Owens, Eric, and Ivar, and Bailey. This is Series 80. So this is actually quite recent series here. So he comes with the title belt as well. It's held in with plastic straps. He's held in with plastic straps too, so we're going to go ahead and cut that loose. Always be careful with the X-Acto knife. Never put your fingers in harm's way. Kids, don't use knives. Alright, pop this out. Okay, so there's him. There's his shirt, and we're going to leave his hands in there. Alright, so here's a look at Kyle O'Reilly. And this is a pretty good figure. He's got the tattoo on the flank. I don't know, is that the flank, the ribs area? So, you got that. He's got a little paint scuffing, not paint scuffing, but a little scuffing here. Nothing I can't deal with. A little scuffing on the back as well. Similar attire to Bobby Fish with the camo, except for he's got on his knee pads the Undisputed Era logo and the KO logo here. Cool silver kick pads that really shine. On the back, he's got that same lace detailing right there on the back. Head scan is very good. I would say it is spot on. Kyle O'Reilly. I think the hair and the beard should have a little more red in it. He's also got the armband, something I didn't point out on Bobby Fish, but Bobby Fish has that too with the Undisputed Era logo on it. This one is kind of worn. Like there's a little black bleed through on the paint. But yeah, that's Kyle O'Reilly there. He's got his title. Like if I had to pick a favorite wrestler right now, of the modern times, it would be Kyle O'Reilly. So, actually, let's go ahead and put his shirt on real quick to match Bobby Fish. Loop that through. Alright, and then lock that in. And he has got his shirt. But yeah, in Ring of Honor, I was a huge fan of Kyle O'Reilly. Pretty much ever since he started in Ring of Honor with Adam Cole as Future Shock. I watched that whole thing. He had an excellent match. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way to see Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. I forget exactly which event it is, but they had like a hybrid pro wrestling MMA fight, and it's a spectacular spectacle. Spectacular spectacle. That's something else. But it's not like it's a, oh my god, what a good match, but it's just something to behold for sure. He's not gonna hold the title very well. He's gonna pretend like he's playing the guitar here, like he is in the packaging. So there we go. Pose him like that in front of my entranceway. All right. Last but not least, we have Roderick Strong, and again, just going back to my Ring of Honor fandom, this was one of those guys that every time he had a match, you knew he was going to give it everything he had. He wasn't going to shortchange you. All his matches were super intense, and he actually is a part of my favorite modern pro wrestling match of all time. Well, I guess that doesn't really make sense. My favorite modern pro wrestling match. It was him versus Davey Richards at Final Battle 2010. Just a spectacular match. A lot of emotional things going into that match. And Roddy, at that time, did a great job carrying the Ring of Honor World title with his manager, Truth Martini. And that's probably the best I've ever liked Roderick Strong. Get this out. I actually have a personal story about Roderick Strong. There we go. In 2015, I went to WrestleMania weekend in Santa Clara, California. Sorry for bumping the camera stand. Oh, there's a... See, they always hide where these tape jobs are going. Can never tell. Anyway, I was in Santa Clara for WrestleMania weekend, and I had just gotten there. It was like the Thursday before WrestleMania. My family and I had just gotten to Santa Clara, and we checked into the hotel, and we went a couple blocks away to go get something to eat, like a slice of pizza. And on our way back, we ran into this guy, Roderick Strong, because he was actually like jogging around the sidewalks where we were going. And I stopped him, and he took a few moments to talk with us, and he was the nicest guy. I had my son with me, and he was about 6 or 7 years old at that time, and he's really shy about people we don't know. And Roddy talked to him, and talked to my wife, and really took some time out. And he was with Ring of Honor at the time, and I went into the Ring of Honor show that year. And he's just the nicest guy you could ever meet. He took a picture with me. We interrupted him on his exercise, but he still took the time out to talk with us. So he'll always be one of my favorites. He's got the shirt here. He's got the hands, but he's also got a chair. It's an Undisputed Era branded steel chair, and it's caved in quite a bit on the top here. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. It's got WWE logo on the back, on the bottom. Get him out of there. And yeah, Roddy's a bit of a shorter guy, a bit shorter than Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, I guess. He was about my height, and I'm about 5'9", so This figure right here, I mean, it's not like there's a ton to be like, oh my god, this is amazing. But this is a really good head scan. And let me bring it closer so you guys can actually see it. Really good head scan there. He's got an armband, but it's not just painted on. It's like you can remove it. That's awesome. And he's got the elbow pad over here, which is like a smaller elbow pad, which is nice. And then he's got the camo trunks with Strong written on the back in yellow. And some yellow and black piping on the side, like a lightning design on the side. He's got 2 black knee pads and the short boots that are black as well. So very, very cool. Put him in the middle there. I do wish he would have come with like the North American Championship or something like that, because I don't have that title yet. Closer look at the steel chair, which is the Undisputed Era logo. Folds out just like most other chairs. So there's that. I'll put it right there. And then he's got his shirt too. I suppose we should put his shirt on just to complete the set here, because this set's looking really good. So the only one I don't have here, obviously, is Adam Cole, which I'm not the biggest Adam Cole fan, personally. It's not like I don't like Adam Cole, but it's, you know, out of the 4, he would be my least favorite. But I do feel like I need to get him because he was a part of that whole Ring of Honor thing. Coming up with Kyle O'Reilly, obviously becoming the champion eventually. I don't like the Canadian Destroyer thing that he does, and the Bebe thing gets really annoying. But yeah, he's a good athlete, and I do like what he did in Ring of Honor. So we'll put that there in the middle, and we have the Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish. Very cool. I love this, actually. Like, I could display this. I know there's like a Undisputed pack that you can buy, but this right here is really good. I dig it. All right, here we are rolling on with our next package. It's a pretty big one, but let's see what's inside. Oh, wow. We've got some newer ones. Let me go ahead and the tape off of this one here. We can release it from its wrapping. This one's being stubborn. Wow. Why is it sticking so much? Alright, well, the tape decided it wanted to be super stubborn, so unfortunately we've got a blemish in the top of that right now, but we got Ravishing Rickroot, Viscera, and Miss Elizabeth. Oh yeah, Miss Elizabeth, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Alright, so here we go. Let's unbox Miss Elizabeth here first. This is Miss Elizabeth from Series 77. Alright, so it says on the back here, Louisville, Kentucky. As manager of the Mega Powers, the First Lady of WWE had an itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny surprise for the Mega Bucks at SummerSlam 1988. And of course, also in this line, AJ Styles, Ronda Rousey, Viscera, Ravishing Rickroot, and The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this up now. Make sure we get all the tape. And Miss Elizabeth, you know, when I started watching wrestling, that was already in, 97 or so. She was still in wrestling, but it certainly wasn't the big deal that it was back in the 80s. Or she wasn't the big deal she was back in the 80s. And so, you know, I kind of missed a lot of the Miss Elizabeth hype. But of course, you know, growing up as a kid, you couldn't help but hear about Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. And get this out here. And of course, Miss Elizabeth. And this very infamous part of their careers where the Mega Powers, Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, were teaming up. But Miss Elizabeth kind of created problems for Hogan and Macho Man. And part of it was this here. If we can get her out without damaging her. Oh, she's actually got some bands in the back. So cut those free. Take her out. She's also got 2 of these hands here. More of a closed fist, not completely closed. But here we go, Miss Elizabeth. Now, I've said in the past, I'm a pretty big fan of the women figures that Mattel makes, but they do have a problem with raising the arms. So the shoulders, they're just so tight. It's hard to raise and lower. You have to work on them a bit, but they eventually get better. But she's got kind of these arms out things going on. The head scan, I don't think that looks all that much like Miss Elizabeth, but it doesn't look bad. It's not like, oh, that doesn't look anything like her. It's just, you know, it kind of looks like generic woman kind of face scan. I don't. Again, it's not a face scan. It's, you know, a sculpt, I guess. But very detailed hair. You can see here the shadowing really brings out all the curls in the hair, which is awesome. So she does have some paint scuff, or no, some scuffs here. I keep saying paint scuffs, but basically some scuffs here. So the whole thing with this is that she was in this dress, right? And they were teasing a teeny weeny surprise, and you know, they ripped off the bottom half, and she was in this you know, bikini. Actually, rip off the whole dress. You can see more of this down here. She's kind of in this bikini here, you know, and that would distract the opponents. And she got knocked off the apron, I believe it was, and Hulk Hogan kind of rescued her and took her to the back. And that didn't sit too well with the Macho Man, and they had a big argument over it, and led to a big match between the two. Anyway, so that kind of represents this. I think out of all the Elizabeths that have been released, there's a version that is like in a white dress, a version that's in a green dress, and then this one, I think that's it. I like this one the best. I think the yellow pops quite well. I like the soft goods. You know, the 2-piece is awesome. You got the yellow shoes here, the yellow high heels. The hair is awesome as well. I don't know if this is the exact same head you get with the others, but even the fingernails, you can see, are painted. Maybe you can see. Let's go ahead and focus that in. There we go. So very cool. I like this figure quite a bit. Let's see if I can get her to stand. That might be a challenge. Her knees kind of not wanting to bend. Let's try to put her over here. Let's just lean her up against there. Alright, moving on now. Viscera. And you know what? What's funny is Viscera was King Mabel. King Mabel was Viscera. And so we are opening another Nelson Knight, I believe is his name, figure, which I'm fine with because, again, I was a fan of his. Let me go ahead and slide this through here. And even liked Big Daddy V in ECW, or WWE ECW. Slide that out. Maybe. Come on. I think we've got something else to cut. Like right here. I almost did the same exact mistake that I made with Bobby Fish and ripped that, but I caught it before I did it. So. Alright, so we've got a lot to take out here. So there's a lot of cool things about this figure that I can see from the start. So let's take a look at the hardcore title. There we go. It's very cool to get this. You know, it's I don't know how accurate of a representation it is. I don't remember offhand what the Hardcore Championship looks like. I know that it said Hampion because the C was off. I want to say that was bigger in real life though, and it was pieced together with more than just an old broken world title belt. But yeah, I think this is pretty cool. And if you look on the back, it's actually got indentations on the rubber, which is interesting. Because these aren't belt pieces like the other titles have been. This just pushed out into the mold. You can see that there. Keeps wanting to focus on Elizabeth in the back there, but we'll fix that. Right, so we have Viscera here. Wasn't the biggest fan of Viscera, really. You know, when I started watching wrestling, I knew really nothing about Viscera being Mabel or King Mabel. He showed up as Mabel in his black attire, looking close to this, but it wasn't like something that clicked with me. He was Viscera in the Ministry of Darkness, basically a henchman kind of character. He was a hardcore champion. Nice mohawk here with the blonde mohawk. This is what's cool about this is it's not the same head sculpt as the King Mabel ones. They're different, and you can see in the paint too. It's got like the white eyes and everything. It's a cool figure. It's just that I don't particularly care for Viscera the character, and honestly, like I wonder what it would look like if you cut this off. Since you can't take it off, it's just on there because that's what he wore. But you can see on the back it goes down in a V. And yeah, so very big figure. And if you look at the bottom, you can see it's the same mold as the King Mabel down here. So I'm guessing it's the same mold up here as the King Mabel. But what's cool about this, and this is probably one of the only times I'm going to take out the extra hands, because those through, they actually fit him very well in terms of what they're attempting to mimic. As we kind of twist these hands off, put the new ones on. Ooh, gotta be careful. Too many things bending here. There we go. So now he has the Viscera V hands. And what's cool about these hands is that it sounds like we're going to get these hands. We're going to get these hands. I don't watch modern wrestling, but I know that's a modern wrestling reference. We're going to get these kind of hands with Vader at some point, which is awesome. But yeah, just kind of, I don't know if you need two Viscera hands like that. But still very cool. He's got the Hardcore Championship, which of course is not going to fit around his waist. Doesn't even go halfway, nor should it really. But he's going to just carry it around like this. This is an awesome figure. Another figure that if you have a Mattel Fig Fed, definitely someone that should be in that Fig Fed, throwing dudes around, just, you know, throwing his weight around and all that good stuff. So I'm going to put the other hands back on him and put him back in the packaging. All right, and finally here with this set, we've got Ravishing Rickroot. Now there's actually two different variation. Well, there's another variation of this figure, I should say. It's the Chase figure, what they call it. And it is this Rickroot with different tights and different boots, I think. Yeah, I think he's got like the Intercontinental Championship on his tights, and then the boots are pink. go. Alright, so we have here the robe that he wore. And it's in its own little plastic bag, and it's taped together. So we're going to get that out of there real quick. Let me tell you, the robe, just from looking at it in the packaging, looks phenomenal. Okay, so soft goods, looking very nice. Got some Velcro there. We'll put that off to the side. Alright, so it looks like he's kept in there with some rubber. My knife. Make sure I'm careful. Actually, got to get up here too. There we go. Get those off of him. Okay, so there is another Rickroot figure, and he. This was something that was released, I think, a couple years ago, but he has like shorter hair. I think this is the first Rickroot they released where he has the long feathered hair. The likeness is fantastic. Kind of get a look there. The hair is nice. He's got his anchor tattoo on his bicep there. Well, I guess that would be a tricep, right? I don't know. He's got his anchor tattoo on his arm. And then he's got these awesome tights that are trying to provoke, I guess, the Ultimate Warrior. It says, "Feel the heat" on the back here. On the boots, it says, "Simply Ravishing." Fantastic figure. Man, this is a good figure. And we're not even talking about the robe yet. Just very detailed, very spot on from what my memory recalls. Of course, I could be wrong on that. There could be some very, very minute differences. But I'm happy. Like, I waited to get a Rickroot that was more 80s Jake the Snake feud, Ultimate Warrior feud, and this is the one right here. This is just great. I would like the WCW version as well of Rickroot. I think that's awesome, but this right here alone is more than enough for my collection, at least. So he's got the robe here. And on the back, Simply Ravishing. I think we need to fold the collar down. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that looks better or not. Fold that down there. Got Simply Ravishing on the back. Let me straighten that out a bit. It's hard to tell, but it says Simply Ravishing there. It's got the little gold polka dots all over the place. Right, and so, he removes his robe so he can taunt all the men and appeal to all the women, as he said. And you can kind of pose his hands to do the thing behind his head where he does his pose or his hip swivel. He's also got... I think Mattel's going overboard with these hands. It's nice to have options for sure, but he's got a completely closed fist and then a partially closed fist, so you can have some other options. I mean, it's not bad, because then you have, if you want to hold a chair, he can hold a chair. If you want a closed fist, just a punch, you can do that too. And then he's got the pose hands here. Anyway, enough about the hands. This figure is phenomenal. I love it. I'm glad that I just kind of waited for I It's not like it's proper Rick Rude, but just the Rick Rude that is probably most famous is this guy right here. So, excellent job. Okay, here we are with our final wrapped gift of the morning. It looks like we have some legends. Yes, here it is. Legend Series 7. Bobby the Brain Heenan in a weasel suit. And a Legend Series 8. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorf. So, let's go ahead and get into these guys here. We'll put Orndorf to the side here since Weasel is Series 7, excuse me. I've been watching a lot of Bobby the Brain Heenan lately because I'm watching through the WWF 1993, and he's a commentator, so I get to hear probably, that's my favorite thing about Bobby the Brain Heenan is his commentary, not necessarily his managerial work, although that's great too. In this series, you can also find Razor Ramon and Greg the Hammer Valentine, so very cool series altogether. I definitely wanted the Razor Ramon for my collection. I don't have a Razor Ramon in my 90s collection, and that's a pretty big void. It's not my biggest void that I have. The biggest one I have is Bret Hart. I don't have a Bret Hart figure yet because I don't like that Mattel puts out, every Bret Hart they put out has hair in the face. And yeah, I know he had hair in his face sometimes, but actually if you watch a lot of Bret Hart, surprisingly, he keeps his hair out of his face a lot of the time. Get that out of there. But yeah, so I definitely need a Bret Hart. I needed a Bobby the Brain Heenan. I would prefer to have a different Heenan. Get this out of here. There we go. Of course, I would rather have more of an announcer Bobby Heenan because that's what I like him best as. But this is cool too because it is a weasel suit. It is a soft goods weasel suit for Bobby the Brain Heenan. It's got a thumb and little paws, and of course you have to have the tail. And it has Velcro here in the front. So if we take that off here, it doesn't go down very far. It definitely doesn't seem like they want you to take it off. Wow. I feel like I'm going to rip it if I try to force it a little bit more, but we'll just pull from the arm here. See if we can't get it to go that way. Bend the arm. Oh, wow. I'm afraid to put this back on him if I get it off. Okay, there we go. Should be easier from here on out. Go. So underneath the weasel suit, you get Bobby in wrestling attire, in the Andre the Giant single band singlet here. And what I don't like about this, okay, so there's a couple things I don't like about this. Number one, his physique. Bobby was always kind of portly, even, from what I've seen of him wrestling, he's a good worker, but he was never, that I saw at least, ripped like this. I mean, you can see the definition right there on his ribs. So there's that. But also, if you take a look, I don't know if I can show it well on the camera, but he's got wrinkles on the legs, like he's wearing pants, like these are tights or something. So that's weird. Maybe it seems a bit lazy because they thought, oh, nobody's gonna see him outside of the weasel suit. I mean, they can't have thought that because it's soft goods. You can take off the weasel suit. Part of the whole thing is You know, when Bobby was doing this weasel suit gimmick, it was putting him in the weasel suit. You know, so he has to start outside. But if you just display it, it's kind of like that. I think it's a cool novelty figure. Definitely far from one of my favorite novelty figures, that's for sure. And we'll put him kind of halfway in the weasel suit here. There we go. He also comes with 2 pointer finger hands, in case you want to point at people. All right, next up we have Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorf. So Paul Orndorf is not a guy that I necessarily would need in my collection, but I do have somewhat of an affinity for Paul Orndorf figures, because one of my first classic superstars from Jax figures was Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorf, and I actually used his robe to go along with my Best of WCW Ric Flair. There we go. And it was this exact same robe. Not this exact robe, but just like the same design, same color, all that kind of stuff. There we go. That's a struggle. Paul Orndorf is going to be one of those guys who is always going to be underrated. You go back and you watch his stuff, especially his stuff with Hogan. It's really good, and he's a really good worker. But he just, you know, he was kind of plain Jane in an era where the WWF was getting into a lot of gimmicks and catchphrases and stuff like that, and he just didn't have one that really stuck. He went to WCW, has some issues there, and he's had a lot of issues in life from what I hear. But anyway, on the back you can see, if I focus the camera, he's got his Mr. Number Wonderful here on the back. Plain on the front. His boots are red with a silver design, and then white on the bottoms here. Very chiseled and buff physique, and you know, I'm happy that he's getting this kind of treatment in terms of the body, because one of my big complaints about Mattel are their bodies are too small for the most part. I mean, Bobby should be bigger and shouldn't be ripped. This is a pretty good physique for Paul Orndorf, and actually, I'm gonna take a look at the face here. That's a really good face, too. I like it. He's got kind of the cleft in the chin. Very defined. He's got a very nice haircut here. You can see how it's kind of feathered out there. Very nice. I like it. This is a good figure. Definitely a figure, you know, if you're doing a strictly 80s wrestling figure fed, he's got to be in the mix for sure. I don't know if I need him for my collection. He kind of predates what I collect for. You know, he's just before that kind of 87, 88 cutoff. You know, certainly he was wrestling then, but he wasn't as big of a deal as he was in 85 and 86. So there's that. Let's go ahead and take a look at his robe now. Untie that. See how it fits on him. It looks fantastic. Slip that in the back there. Kind of fold that back down. And go ahead and tie this up, because you wore it out to the ring all tied up. Alright, let that kind of hang down there. Let the physique show a little bit. And there we have our number one. There we have our Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Number Wonderful. With these silver designs. This is a really nice robe. Yeah, this is kind of one of those figures that when I saw it being announced, I was like, oh, it's Paul Orndorf, you know, I don't really need a Paul Orndorf, but now that I've got him, I mean, this is a very nice figure. Probably one of the more surprising ones. Like I was surprised earlier with that Nia Jax. I mean, this is pretty nice here. There you have Orndorf and Heenan. Definitely out of the two, I would go with Orndorf, but it's nice to finally have a Bobby Heenan. All right, we are down to our last two gifts, and they're both in gift bags, so I'm guessing they're both somewhat special here. Let's take this first one out and see. Oh, we have a Ringside Collectibles exclusive Hardy Boys 2-pack, the Brood Hardys. Wow. Alright, let's read the back here. 6-time World Tag Team Champions, Raw Tag Team Champions, WCW Tag Team Champions. The high-risk, high-flying brothers from North Carolina were never the largest tag team, but the Hardy Boys put their bodies on the line each and every time they stepped inside the ring. With unforgettable rivalries and unforgiving TLC matches against Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys, these daredevils created a legacy as extreme icons of the Attitude Era. So there you go. And of course, with these boxes that don't have a clear, they don't have a clear opening like on the side or whatever, and they don't have a tag up top, that means you're going to have to pretty much display it on a shelf. I always open from the bottom. That way, if the opening is going to pop out because it's not secure enough, at least it'll have the weight of everything laying on it, if that makes sense. And here we have the Hardy Boys. So what's interesting about these is when I first saw them, I was like, everybody was like, wow, these look great, phenomenal, home run, no doubt about it. But I saw them and I was like, I don't know about those shirts, because the shirts in real life were skin tight, but these are soft goods, so they're kind of loose and everything. It just didn't look right. But real quick, I'm not going to take these out, but you can see the World Tag Team Championships belts up here. They also come with the Hardy point hands. Take these out here. Alright, we'll go with Matt first here. And so he's got the whole Bret Hart thing with the hair and the face going on. This makes sense for this one figure. Let's pull it back. You can see the head underneath here. It's okay. I don't think it looks terrible, but I don't think it looks necessarily like Matt from that era. Maybe it looks a little too old. With the hair in the face, it looks fine, though. With the hair in the face, yeah, that looks perfect. So, and then the shirt is soft goods, so we can just take it off very easily. You see he's got armbands up to his elbows, just all black. Got some nice detailing on the belt. Take a look at that. Some silver detailing. Black baggy pants with the cargo pockets. And those trademark black and white shoes. So there's Matt. Put him over here. Now we're on to Jeff. Get him out fairly easily. Alright, so these are actually, believe it or not, my first Jeff and Matt Mattel figures. I've never picked one up for either guy. And there you see Jeff with the orange and pink and black hair. Very nicely done. You've got the weird sideburns going on. It's kind of hard to see. There they are. And you got the cross necklace, which is awesome. And then if you take his shirt off, which is also just as easy to do, because it's the same exact shirt, And you can see he's got armbands up to his elbows. So the coloring of the skin is like discolored, like it's this color skin on black paint, so the black bleeds through a bit, and it looks a little bit different than the other color of his skin. So it's a little weird. You've also got the same nice detailing, not the same exact detailing, but still nice detailing on the belt there. Same black pants and the same black and white shoes. And there you have it. So I think these are really good figures. I think if you're a Hardy Boyz fan, it's a must get. I still probably would have preferred painted on shirts, because if you're ever going to do painted on shirts, I mean, these guys would be the guys in this era to have that, because those shirts were so skin tight. They only really took them off to do their finishing move too, so it would have made sense to just have it on all the time. But and either way, it's still really good figures. It comes with the tag belts, comes with 2 soft goods shirts and the pointer hands. A must-have for any Hardy Boyz fan. Alright, so you've made it this far with me. We are down to our final present here, and you can see over the top of the bag there, it's a Ringside Collectibles exclusive. I thought we'd go out with a bit of a bang here on this unboxing. It is the Ringside Collectibles exclusive Undertaker as Kane. This is a very odd figure for sure, and I can't wait to kind of check it out. Now there have been reports of, well, in the picture he's got a goatee, but in real life he didn't, or whatever. I don't know if I'm going to go that in detail, but we are going to take a look at the figure both as Undertaker and as Kane. So on the back it says, Dead Man in Disguise. In July 1998, tensions over the WWE Championship were higher than ever. Stone Cold Steve Austin needed a new #1 contender for his WWE Championship, and that's the bottom line. So Mr. McMahon pitted WWE's most sadistic monsters, Kane, Undertaker, and Mankind, in a triple threat match. Mankind waited in the ring for the Dead Man, but when Undertaker failed to appear, the triple threat match changed to a one-on-one no-holds-barred contest, and they actually have a period where they should have a comma there. Mankind, however, refused to fight his friend Kane. The Big Red Machine had other ideas. After destroying Mankind with a chair and pinning him for the win, Kane stared down the Texas Rattlesnake and removed his mask to reveal he was Undertaker in disguise the entire time. The new #1 contender for the WWE Championship had risen with one message for the champion: rest in peace. And there you have it. Whew, let's go ahead and open this up here. Now, I'm going to have to inspect this a little bit because this is definitely odd packaging. So there's something right here. What we're gonna do is I know you probably can't see this out of frame, but I'm gonna lift that open. We're gonna slide our knife in between, cut that seal so we can open up this front flap, and there you see it. The Undertaker dressed as Kane. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look. I'm very excited about multiple things with this figure. Okay, so I'm gonna try to open this up from the bottom and hope that it works out okay. There we go. Hopefully it works out as well as the Hardy Boyz did. If I can get this out here, there we go. Okay, put our bag down here. And here we have Undertaker as Kane. So we've got a couple of heads here. This is the head that goes on to the Undertaker to make him Kane. It's quite big, so it can fit on his head. We've also got the head. get this one out. Oh, it is tied in there. Oh, it's like a rubber price tag holder. Alright, there we go. So this is the head that you put on the body to make it Kane. So this is Kane. Very cool looking. I've always been a big fan of Kane's mask. Excellent. Let's take a look at the WWE Championship. Or I should say WWF Championship, because that's what it was during this time. But it does have a WWE logo on it instead. Now, as you can see, it's not shiny necessarily. It's a little shiny, but it's not shiny like the other titles we've seen so far today. It's kind of a matte paint, and that's a little disappointing. It doesn't look terrible. It's got the nice blue painting on the globe there. Got some blue painting on the sides, and then the WWE logo, because I can't do the WWF logo, of course. It's a nice title. I just wish it were shiny. That out there. Probably a little more aggressive than I should have been. Fortunately, he's got a loosey torso. That kind of sucks. Yeah, I'm disappointed with that. You know, it always sucks when these premium figures have loose parts, you know. So it's not the biggest deal of all time, but still, I wish it were not that way. Alright, we look at the face here because he's got the dark paint around his eyes to kind of conceal his identity in the mask. The long hair there. And two hit the microphone there. Two sleeves, so he can cover up all his tattoos. Nobody knows it's actually Undertaker. We put the mask on. So here is the masked version. Now the mask looks huge, disproportionately so. But it's still cool. Like if you put this on and then probably swap the head. Let me put them side by side real quick. You know, obviously one is much, much smaller than the other. And they're different, too, which I like. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's obvious that the one on Undertaker is bigger. Okay, so we got that. Now let's go ahead and pop Undertaker's head off. There you see the little red joint there. And you know what? This is, Kane is kind of a Christmas theme. He's got kind of a Christmas style outfit with the red, and I don't know, it just looks Christmassy. So I don't know if the head is on all the way, but I'm going to assume it is. And there's the head to make it Kane. I don't have a Kane figure from Mattel yet, so this is technically my first Kane figure. I would like to get a separate Kane for sure. But there you have Kane as Kane with the two sleeves. Very cool. I do like this figure. I do obviously have some qualms about the loose joint here. And then one mask being way bigger than the other. I mean, it's almost like a third bigger, if that makes sense. Or, you know, 3 times. Not 3 times the size. A time and a half the size or whatever than the regular mask. But it's still a cool concept. It's still a cool figure. You know, Kane did have the WWF Championship for a very short amount of time. I think it was a blue strap version. But we're going to go ahead and pop this off and put the Undertaker's head back on. So we can have our Undertaker as Kane. There you go. There's all of our figures. Well, that's going to do it, guys. As you can see, I was very lucky this year. And to be honest, you know, I'm not a figure expert. I just like collecting figures. I like, looking at them, playing around with them. And I bought a whole bunch of figures on eBay to kind of restart my figure fed that I had as a child. Just because I'm at the point where, I've learned from this past year that we might not live very long in this life. We could go at any moment, so it's important to have fun while you're alive and not worry about stigmas or any stereotypes or anything like that. Just do what makes you happy. Have fun. If you still collect figures when you're in high school, that's okay. If you still collect figures when you're 40, that's okay. There's no rule book on what you have to do to be happy. Whatever makes you happy, as long as I guess it's not against the law, do that thing. And I'm very happy that you guys decided to join me, hopefully on Christmas Day. But even if you're watching this on a day that's not Christmas, whenever you're watching this, I truly appreciate it if you could share the video around to other figure fans and say, hey, check this out. That would help me out a ton. And I want to bring more big unboxing vids to the channel. It takes a while, obviously, to accumulate so many figures. It's also very costly to do so, but that's for my, collection too. So please share it around. It really helps out. And if you could drop your haul from this past holiday season in the comments below, I really want to check out what you guys got. So hit me with what you got. What was the big get for you, the big add to your collection. Let me know in the comments and I'll check each and every one of them out. And until next time, this is Lex saying happy holidays and especially a happy new year.